Peace and light, that old guy Australia. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button, and you'll know when I'm doing a video. I don't do many these days. This is only the second I've done in 3 days, and that's only 2 that I've done in probably a year. Anyway, I don't like to say anything unless I've got something to say, and I think I might have. So, I've been asked to address the video I did the other day and explain it a little further, and and since I did that video, of course, Trump has gone and won the election. Now, that in itself has brought out everybody out of the closet. Everybody wants to be a keyboard warrior, and excuse me, it's very, very early in the morning. I'm on North Shore of Sydney. I've had to turn up very, very early because it's the only way to beat the traffic. And then I get here, and of course I can't get into the site, so I'm going to wait for an hour. Anyway, so I've been up since 4 o'clock. And I'm just knackered already. I haven't even started work. Anyway, so Trump won the election, and of course that brought out the keyboard warriors, and everybody's out there going. And as I said in my first video, I don't care whether you think Trump is the savior of the world or whether you think he's the Antichrist. You know, that's superfluous, because we can all have an opinion on that, and you can all have and everybody wants to think they're right. Oh my God. And I'll address that. That's another issue. Whoops, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll address that in a minute. Had Kamala Harris won, then it would have been, you know, woe is me, the end of the world. And now we're in for, you know, the woke agenda, and shit's going to hit the fan, so to speak. Sorry. But because Trump won, everybody's got to have an opinion. They want to get online and make out like they got something to say, and they're very important about what they got to say, and they got little nicknames for things, and like Camel Toe Harris and all this stuff, you know, and I think they're really uber cool by having these little nicknamey things for things, and of course, the moment you tend to disagree with someone like this, they get very vocal and nasty, and this is what I've noticed, particularly amongst the truth movement. And yesterday, for the first time in I don't know how long, I had to block a guy, and it was really that he posted an opinion. I very nicely said that I didn't necessarily agree with him, but if he wanted to send me some information, I'd be happy to go over it. In fact, I took some information off his page and sent it to somebody else, which is what I often do, to ask them to look at it, because they're a bit of an expert in that field, and see what they could make of it, whether they could verify it or whatever, because this is what I try and do. But before I had a chance to go any further, this guy went nuts, and he was calling me a dumb C and a F. You know, he just went ballistic. And I tried to even say to him, like, you know, you using that kind of language against somebody, no matter who it is, even if they're in opposition to you, it doesn't make you right, or doesn't make you a better person. It just makes you look like a bloody idiot, mate, you know. And then he started with the whole, oh, you know, I bet you're jabbed and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, why is it you got to go down this road? You know, seriously? Then he called in some little bull terrier to help him out. And I'm like, oh, my God. Really? You know, you're so desperate. Desperate. So then I go to his page, and he posts all the time. And he'd be lucky to get 1 like out of every 3 posts. Kind of, if you know what I mean. It sounds... Anyway, I'm just saying that there's nobody commenting on his anything, and he's like, I'm like, oh, okay, look. Anyway, we know what social media is like. So Trump won, and of course everybody's come out of the woodwork with their opinions, and then I've started calling people who, okay, us Trump supporters, let's say, or people who are freedom supporters, or people who are just have an idea that let's try and believe positively that maybe there's some good might come out of this. Have some hope, a little mustard seed, just something. Let's see if we can get some good come out of this. For example, Trump was interviewed on the Joe Rogan show, and on that Joe Rogan show, he shook hands with Joe Rogan and promised him that he would release the JFK files unredacted, and also he would release all of the Epstein files unredacted. And Joe Rogan said, I'll hold you to that. And he said, no, I'll do it. So let's see what happens. If that's all that came out of this, I'd be happy to get that information and put that all to bed. But I'm just saying, that's superfluous in the big scheme of things. And then you have these people who I don't even know what this is. They call themselves digital creators. I don't know what that is. I must be in the dark, except for this light. And I don't even know. What are you going to do to call yourself a digital creator? I don't know. You know, it sounds a bit wanky. I don't know. I don't know. If you're a digital creator, I apologise. Maybe explain it to me, because I don't really know what's going on there. You know, is it just something you write and go, well, I'm a digital creator? I don't know. I don't know. It's like, I'm a trendsetter. I don't know. Then we have people who call themselves light workers. Now, these are supposed to be good people, apparently. I don't know what a light worker is. Am I a light worker? I don't understand. I really don't understand. Maybe I'm just old and stupid. I don't get it. I'm a light worker. I think they're supposed to be forces of good or something. How do you work light? Anyway, you know, I think they're on our side. Kind of like Gays Against Groomers. And I follow that group. Believe me, I get some great stuff out of there. You know, each to their own. Anyway, as I'm saying, they're all coming out of the woodwork, and suddenly there's all this squabbling going on, like kindergarten children, like, oh no, you think this is the beginning of the beginning of the beginning, but it's the beginning of the end, or the end of the beginning, or the end of the end. I'm like, whatever. Look, it was an election. Somebody had to win. Somebody had to win. Whether it was rigged or not, I don't know. We don't know the truth going on behind the scenes, but somebody had to win. Somebody. So on that side, you had Kamala Harris and all Diddy's crew, and on this side, you had Trump with, you know, Musk and Carlson and Owens and everybody else. They're all controlled opposition, and he's a shill. I'm like, okay, that means there's no good in the world. Nobody good. Nobody. You can't trust a single person. All those people out there looking for a savior. When you got to realise that unless we rise up, you know, we're the only ones that can save ourselves. That ain't going to happen. Even an army has a general and leaders. It's not going to happen. I don't know what the frig you want to keep going on about this for. Yeah, it's a lovely bit of ideology and a little bit of narrative, fantastic, but it's not going to happen. The people aren't going to rise up without a leader. They've got to have a leader. People need a leader, somebody. Even within the freedom movement, they have kind of like leaders. And then they all squabbled amongst themselves, and they don't like each other, and they're all calling each other names. They've all split, and we're like cream and milk. We're all over the park. So, you know, don't come at me with this stuff, because it makes no sense to me. You know, it makes no sense to me. And I've always said this, and I'll continue to say it. If you say to me that there's no good in the world and it's all evil, they're controlled opposition and they're shills and that's all theatre and these people are just pure evil, and there's no good in the world, I don't want to be in the world, because I believe good will win. I believe good will triumph over evil. If I didn't believe that, and I've said this over and over, go back to my videos from 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I've said this over and over and over. I do not want to be in a world where I'm forced to believe that evil is going to triumph and win and good will have no place. I don't want to be in that world. That's a shitty world. I don't want to be in that. So I believe good will win. I honestly believe that will triumph over evil. You know, the hows and whys, nobody knows. I don't know. And you make out like, you know, you keep going, oh, we know. I'm the truth. I'm the light. No one comes to the truth unless they follow my truth. I mean, who are you? Why do you want to keep putting these points across? And people I respect, people I've shared information from and with, are all posting stuff about, oh, Trump, this and that. And I'm like, shut up. Shut up. Look for some good amongst this. Stop being so goddamn negative. You're supposed to be so switched on. Don't you understand that what you're putting out there, what you're speaking out there, what you're professing out there has power, has weight? I don't understand. How come you reckon you're so switched on, yet you're switched off? It's mental. You're just as crazy as everybody else. Stop putting this shit out there. Anyway, so that brings me to the next issue, which is tomorrow, Friday, November 8th, 2024, here in Sydney. A very well-respected member of the truther community, I hate the term, but there you go. A lady who I've shared information with and from, and has a huge following. Trust me, I've got nobody. She has massive following, both on social media platforms like Instagram, and she does podcasts and all this kind of stuff. Has put out a video, or several videos, and lots of posts about this, and claims that it was like, I guess, divine, because she her inbox is full, totally full. It's that full. I can't empty the goddamn thing. Anyway, she happened to click on some random thing she'd been sent from somebody she doesn't know or whatever. And in there was this information about a Simpsons episode. I don't know if you know the episode where Australia blows up. And you know, Homer's having a barbecue, and he's flicking prawns. One gets stuck on the line. He washes it off, and it falls down the gas outlet, blocks the gas outlet, blows everything up, and blows Australia to pieces. And so a number of things happened on her attracted. She had, 15, 20,000 views or whatever. I don't know what, lots and lots. Anyway, there's two things that happen. The first thing is she claims that there's symbolism in this. Now, I understand symbolism. I understand about pedophilia. The FBI released all the symbolism to do with pedophilia. We know that's a thing. It's no bullshit. It's all throughout Disney. It's all throughout the children's movies. It's everywhere. All the pedophilia symbolism is everywhere. And if you don't know about that, I suggest you look into it. But everybody who knows. Everyone who doesn't, I suggest you look into it. And this is an FBI thing, not us. All the symbolism that's in pedophilia, related to pedophilia, is littered throughout Disney kids' movies. I mean, everywhere. And there's plenty of people who've done videos on that, and I'm not going to be one of them, but you can find it. It's not hard to find. So this lady's right into symbolism and everything else, and she counted the grills on the plate and saw a number on the wall and everything else. Anyway, she believes it adds up till tomorrow. But the problem I had with it, and I don't mind her putting that video out there, she's suggesting that there could be some kind of terrorist attack tomorrow, November 8th, 2024, in Sydney. And there very well might be, and she could very well be right. And if she is, I swear to you, I swear to you, I will go to her page, actively apologise, and I'll follow her more closely than I ever have. But there's a bit of a cynic within me. Okay, we all know that. If you don't, you should. So, of course, I'm like, oh, my God, you really... Okay, so she's standing on what her beliefs are. She's saying, this is what I believe, this is what I think could happen, and I'm just warning you that this could take place. Now, like the Bureau of Meteorology, she also has that tomorrow it'll be sunny with a few clouds with a chance of rain. So, of course, there's always an out. It's like the blurred Yeti, or the spaceship I can't focus on with my camera. Anyway, so if it doesn't take place, she said stay indoors or stay away from Sydney, or how are you going to do that? I don't know. I can't because I've got to travel and work. And so if you stay, be really careful on Friday the 8th, November the 8th, 2024 in Sydney. Now, if it just stopped there, I'd go, okay, well, bit of a warning. But then two things took place. The first thing is she called the police, and she got a detective to come to her house, and she outlined her belief and her case to the police. Now, that was taken it a step further. I thought, okay, that's something she did. And, of course, the policeman came and he interviewed her, and then the detective came and then he left. Because he had to follow up on I assume that the information she said was that I believe that I have information that relates to a possible terrorist attack in Sydney tomorrow, later on in November 8th, 2024. So the third thing she did was where things get murky, and this is things that I don't like. This was something I'm really not happy with, and she crossed the line. What she did was she filmed herself and recorded a message. She rang the police, and she filmed it, and she recorded it. Now, I don't know if you know what police are like, but they don't take kindly to people recording them without them knowing, without letting them know, hey, look, I'm just letting you know, I'm a podcaster. I've already rung the police once. They haven't returned my calls. They visited me. They've gone away and said they promised to get back to me. They haven't got back to me. So I'm ringing you, and I'm going to film you and record you, and I'm going to post it on public social media. They would have said, no, you're not doing that. They'd have just cut the call off. But she didn't. She did it secretly without their knowledge, and she filmed it and recorded it, and she put it on social media. And I'm like, oh, my God. And the basis of the call was that she explains to this detective, or this person, the policeman, that this detective hadn't responded to her information. It was very, very important. She had more information on it that might happen on Friday, and he needed to see this extra information, and so did the detective. And could you contact him and ask him, well, I don't know why he hasn't got back to me. Oh, maybe because they're not really up to speed that you are, and you've intimated you have information about a possible terrorist attack, and then you call a detective to your house and you say to him, oh, look at this, there's a Simpson episode. Sit down and watch it. Look at that. Count the number of grills on the barbecue. There's 11. There's 11 of them. Look at the number on the wall. And they'll blow up Australia, and they always tell us what they're going to do. And maybe they might. I don't know. I don't know. And if they do, trust me, I'm going straight to this woman's page and I'm into it. But I mean, I can imagine that detective sitting there going, oh, okay. Do you know what psilocybin is? Have you been doing any? I can't imagine for 1 second that he would take it seriously. But this woman is absolutely serious. And of course, they do a podcast. All these people tune in and watch this podcast, and she explains the situation and says that this is what they're like. They're corporate owned, and they're not going to do anything about it because they're all in on it. And I'm like, oh my God. So you've gone from this 0 to 100. And I'm like, righto. Yes, back here you were standing on your own beliefs and you put that out. That was your opinion. Now you've done something that borders on illegal. Well, I don't even think it borders on illegal. It's highly illegal. Where you've rung the police, filmed it, and videoed it, and taped their call, and then you're putting it on social media public. I'm like, wow, I think you're opening yourself up for a can of worms here. It's not a good look. Anyway, like I said, if it happens, I'm straight onto her page. If nothing happens, I'm probably still going to go over there and say, look, you need to really calm the bloody farm. Anyway, that's my take on things on this Thursday, November 7th, hoping that November 8th arrives, and November 9th, which is Saturday, I make it to the farm without any dramas. God. Oh, Sydney, survive. Please. Anyway, peace and light, that old guy, Australia. Before I go, I just wanted to say, please understand that I've already explained to you on the video the other day. I was asked about that. I apologise, I forgot about that. It's the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment clearly states within amongst its ranting that anybody who's been prosecuted or found guilty of insurrection cannot assume the presidency or any official government position or office in the United States. And I sincerely believe that information is very, very true, that they're going to be looking to prosecute Donald Trump and say you can't be president, you can't be inaugurated as president because you've been convicted of insurrection by judges who are probably on the Epstein file. Supreme Court judges, circuit judges who are on the Epstein file, or maybe they went to Diddy's parties, but they're all owned. Everybody's owned. The Freemasons own them. We understand all this. We haven't got to go into it, but we know what it's all about, and they're all owned. And it was a comical trial. It was of no, well, it seemed to have no purpose, but now we know what the purpose really, really was. By finding Trump guilty of insurrection, they can now claim under the 14th Amendment that he's not fit to hold office, and that could very well, and if they do that, because I don't really know, if they do that, then that could, because I don't know, possibly lead to absolute civil war in America. Because let me tell you, it was a red sweep right across America. It was a landslide victory, landslide victory. The Republicans have won the Senate, they've won the House of Representatives, they've won the popular vote. So they've won. Oh man, alive! It was because all the experts here, in Australia, go, oh, we didn't really see that coming. I'm like, okay, well, fair enough. Who did? But there we go. It happened. What are you going to do about it now? So that's what I believe could very well take place. And don't forget, Trump won't be inaugurated before January, so we've still got a few months to go before he can be inaugurated. And if they don't before then or something, and get rid of him, which again would lead to civil war, then I think that I don't think they're going to get through that inauguration. But that's just my opinion. What would I know? I'm not going to stand on that little hill and die on it. All I know is that I never thought they'd even get to the election. Now they've got there and he's had a landslide victory. They've already tried to get rid of him once, twice, probably actually 12 times I know. Since 2016, he's had 12 attempts on his life. The interesting part about it all, I guess, is the next couple of days and then the next couple of weeks, because they'll tell us really what's going to take place in the United States. You know, we're just pawns on a big chessboard. Peace and light, that old guy Australia. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button, and thanks for watching. We'll catch you soon.